the drama today was in the ACC. Real drama. Clemson hosting an undefeated Syracuse team, or undefeated Syracuse, sorry, welcomed in an undefeated Clemson team. This had all the makings of a trap game. Clemson comes down with Dino Babers. These guys get up for these games. They beat Lamar Jackson years back. They go after Deshaun Watson and Trevor Lawrence. Like, they never flinch. And it looked like that today. They were up by a substantial amount, 21-10. At one point, Clemson overtakes it, but fellas, not without drama. They make a quarterback change in a healthy scenario, performance-based quarterback change. Freshman Cade Klubnik goes in to replace DJ Ungalale, and they survive it. Dabo has his Saban national championship moment. Clemson, 27-21. Trevor Knight, do you have faith in these Tigers still?
I have faith in them, and here's why. They have a big fat zero in the loss column.
Mm.
And that's something to hang your hat on. That being said, outside of their record, I am very nervous about that Clemson team. Now, this was their Super Bowl. They don't have anybody else on the schedule that's ranked at this
Well,
point.
Trev, let's also throw this in there too, brother. They have a zero, but they also have historical data and a little bit of a track record that people have. Because I think you can make the argument that a Clemson team with a Wake Forest. Let's say Wake Forest ran the table in the ACC right now. Would we even be talking about Wake Forest possibly being
No.
a college football
Yeah,
playoff
yeah,
team?
that's a good point. The problem here is, and I'm navigating this towards the playoff, right? Because that's obviously the end goal. How do you not put them in if they've got that big fat zero, right? That being said, this was their Super Bowl, and their guy, their quarterback, Dabo Sweeney even said it after the game. Hey, great job, Cade, coming in, but DJ's our guy, DJ's our guy, DJ's our guy. Well, your guy in your biggest game, which hindsight across the rest of the country, you know, Syracuse isn't competing with a lot of the big dogs, but that's your big game, and your starting quarterback can't even come out and show up for that. That worries me big time.
Well, let me tighten a
But
couple things up.
But he did show
Hack,
up against. Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead, George.
go ahead, Hack. Go ahead. He
I was
didn't
gonna say,
show up.
but he did show up against the Wake Forest team. He did he showed up this year.
Uh,
You know, I listen, Trev. I'm tracking with you, bro. Like, I'm not coming at you, but I think to say that the biggest game of the year, like, I don't think they were necessarily circling Syracuse to start the season.
They weren't, but is that not their biggest games, from now until the rest of the year, right?
Yes, at Notre
Oh,
Dame,
yeah. You mean finish?
Louisville. They don't
Yeah.
have a team with a
Yeah.
winning
True.
record until South Carolina.
Yes.
Yeah, not their
Yes.
that's not who they circled preseason, but that was their Super Bowl with the remainder of the year, right? They don't
Gotcha.
have
Yeah.
they should go unblemished if they
I
play good
misunderstood
football.
you. I
Yeah.
got you. Yep.
So, fellas, just to go back, Trevor keeps reiterating that zero. Outside of the SEC and the Big Ten, this is the lone remaining undefeated team in college football. The Clemson Tigers, who are now 8-0. They have Notre Dame, Louisville, Miami, none of them with winning records. And then they'll host South Carolina, which should be a good game, could be, one that they really have to bow up for. But fellas, they made a quarterback change, and we've been talking about this last year. Then we all just trust that anybody who's been challenged will do the work in the offseason and come back. So he's had some good outings. I'll give you that, Hack. He's had some good outings. But if you go back and look at their wins, 35-12 over Furman. Louisiana Tech, 48-20. These are not your typical Clemson outings. They beat Florida State by 6 last week. They beat Syracuse by 6 this week. They are touchable. You can put hands on Clemson. But we have